It's being excited for Marvel is just a task.
We've been talking about Avengers Armageddon. Is this going to be a reboot? You know, we got all the stuff that's happening with Ultimate Reborn, and we got some teasers. And guess what? Funny little word is being tossed around when it comes to the teasers. Reset. Quentin, take it away.
All right, y'all. So basically, it's gonna be a pre what's it called? Doomsday timeline and a post timeline to Doomsday. I don't know what Ross is about to do, but it's like zombie cults running around. People are dead. Like, I think Spider-Man's fucked up in one of these pictures, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like Tony
This
just
one.
sacrificed himself. So I'm pretty sure you gotta reset this somehow. And I think that's where Miles comes in. So I don't know. This looks really good.
It does. It does. It does. This looks
Dare
beautiful.
dare I say I'm intrigued, that I am excited for a Marvel event. Last Marvel event I was excited for is what? And the same writer was writing it. Devil's Reign.
Mm.
I care about Empire. The other one that had Empire. Um, there's no event in recent time has been just notable.
I, I,
That's
I
not
could make
that's not Ultimates.
I could make a strong case for what was it? King and Black and was the one Absolute Carnage. I could make a case for those.
Wasn't King and Black before they ended before Devil Reign, so
Yeah,
they were kind of like the same time. So and King and
yeah.
Black was cool. Don't get me wrong, but I still think I would lean toward Devil Reign being stronger. You know what currently has been controlling the Marvel narrative with Luke being mayor. Devil Reign is. I think it made sense for Chip to be the architect for Marvel going farther, like for the
Mm,
next couple years. Looking at what he did with the street level characters, how he
yeah.
organized all of that. So um, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but like I was just talking to somebody, like it's about that time, bro. Like somebody was just saying how like I wish I lived in a world where Scott Summers stayed with Madeline Pryor, but Gene still came back, but they didn't get back together, and
Hmm.
they just moved on. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish I lived in that world. So I saw that and I was like, you know what? That goes back to say like we have to hit the reset on some of these titles, like kind of how you're doing Cap. You're not doing a massive reset, right? It's really stealthy the way they're doing it if you look at it.
Hmm.
He just didn't wake up in 1960. He woke up in 2001. So we're just kind of like just closing the gap a little bit. We're modernizing or something. I think that's what a lot of these titles need to kind of get back on track. I think we've all been kind of consistent on like Marvel needing a new voice, and this seems like the voice they need for the next couple years.
AJ, it's been a minute since we had you on. What are your thoughts about all this, dog?
Man, I'm so tapped out on Marvel right now. So if this can right the ship in a lot of ways, I'm here for it all day. Like, okay, I read the end of Avengers. They're clearly setting something up. Outside of that, I'm reading Storm and I'm reading Black Panther Intergalactic, and that just ended like a dog. Like,
I see
books
why
aren't
you're
even
dressing over
lasting
there.
5 issues right now. Forget the 10 that they told us we would be getting of these books. I'm sorry, there's no way to foster reader engagement when you know everything is going to be ending in a few months. Every
Mm,
every time you name something, so they need something, a spark. No, I like Chip. I soured on his Batman run at times, but I do think he's one of the stronger ones in their stable over there at Marvel. I don't know. Like the event looks good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it
mhm.
looks what we've seen so far looks good. I just don't think that they have the right leadership in place for
Oh,
any of this to amount
Yeah.
to much to matter a year from now to stick. Like you had one of the hottest things smoking in comics with your Ultimates universe. Your architect had set it up to continue even after he left, and you decide now we're just going to end it. and we're gonna bring some of those things into the main universe. Like I haven't even gone back and finished a lot of the Ultimate stuff because of how they handled that. It just like I don't know if somebody at Marvel had sour grapes about the Ultimate Universe way outperforming all of their mainline stuff. I don't know if this is just them looking at market share slipping for the first time in years, them their place on sales charts going down. It feels look, they're throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall, trying to see what sticks. I'm not talking about Armageddon here, just in general,
Mhm.
Marvel. Um, and they're trying to get stuff to stick. They're obviously having outside directives forced on them. Um, because stuff has to line up with the MCU in certain ways. So it seems like with every book now. Um, like this is probably the most important Red Hulk's been in what 20 years.
Yeah.
Um, it's a lot of aimlessness over there. We will see as far as Chip and Armageddon. Great writers don't necessarily make great showrunners or great creative leads.
Fair.
We saw that. Obviously, this is more television and movies, but Jeff Johns was one of the biggest names at DC for over 20 years. He goes, tries to do movies, he tries to do TV shows. The TV show was better, but his movie stuff crashed and burned, and now he's pretty much had to go restart his career in comics with Ghost Machine. You look at Chip. Chip was like that Daredevil run is still, I think, probably one of the best runs Marvel's put out in the last 15 years. Even the back end, which I wasn't as thrilled about, but it works. Devil's Reign, yes, also probably one of the best events of Marvel recently. Um, DC got him. You thought he was going to be there for a little while. Things really didn't work out. Um, I don't know if he was in hindsight, I don't know if he was the right fit for that book because I was one of the ones in the beginning. He was my prediction to take over Batman.
Hmm.
We even did it on the podcast, bro.
Yeah, it was me and you.
Yeah. But that just goes to show you that you can be a great storyteller, but you might not necessarily be the best person fit to kind of shape the direction of a line. Like Scott Snyder is rare, guys. That's not common to where you can get a writer and they can be on main headline titles, but they can also be kind of steering the ship everywhere else for the line, whether it be events, whether it be other people's books, whether it be minis. I don't think Williamson did a bad job, but I think he's another example of somebody um, not necessarily being their lane. I think that's part of why Snyder has come back to DC. He's teamed up with Williamson and has helped him steer things more. But yeah, I don't think it was necessarily the best when he was doing it on his own. Ship, I've got faith in you. I like you. I like your Daredevil run. I'm behind on Cap, but it's been pretty good. Your Spider Man, I really dug that. So we will see. Marvel has bigger problems than what's going on on the page of their stories right now. Marvel has a leadership
Oof.
problem. There's the constant of seems to be switching of objectives, right? We heard it was just like last year or maybe the end of 2024 where it was, hey, we're not going to do 6-issue stories anymore. All our books coming out from now on at minimum are going to get 10 issues because we're going to try to cultivate a narrative and we're going to try to grow a readership organically, and so we can start getting some longer stories out. I think you might have got 3 miniseries that hit the 10-issue mark, and now so we started at 5. We supposedly went. No, we started at 6. We supposedly went to 10, even though barely any of them hit that. And
Hmm.
now we're down to 5. And not just are we down to 5. Pretty much every writer at Marvel these days is having to go on, podcasts or social media, everything, telling people, hey, Marvel is only approving us for 5 issues at a time.
Yep.
Like these aren't C and D list writers having to go out and say this. You know, I've said
Wasn't it
my
slot
piece-
just last week?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm about to get to. You know, I've said my piece about not being the biggest fan of Slot these days, but he is still one of their big dogs over there. If he is having to tell you, "Hey, I'm only approved for 5 issues,"
That's bad.
you know that to me speaks volumes about what's going on over there. They have no creative direction. Hell, I'm just remembered one right now. Remember Imperial, guys?
Yep. We talked
Like
about that
Imperial
one.
is supposed to be the reset of the whole cosmic side of Marvel. I don't know why Hickman is staying over there these days. That check has to be insane because
Oh,
this is-
100%.
Y'all saw
This
they
is
got him doing that bullshit for the MCU, right?
Dog,
The
this is the
bullshit tie-in
third
comic.
time in a row that they have fucked him. You started with Krakoa, then you went to Gods, and now you're on Imperial in since 2019. So in a 7-year period. Well, he left in 21, so 5 years at that. Like I'm sorry, guys. Like there is nobody with their hand on the steering wheel steering that ride at Marvel, and you know we'll see what Chip does, but like I said, the event looks good in a vacuum. The event itself looks good. I'm gonna read it. I just don't have any faith that it's gonna matter 6 months from now or a year from now. I have zero faith in that.
Steph, I would love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, we've said it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Even if this was a full-on reboot, which it could be, right? You know, what does it matter?
Yeah.
What does it matter when none of the editorial is gonna have any kind of shakeup? Right? It's just kind of I don't even know. Like it's just kind of like, how am I supposed to get, like, the event could be cool, but like how am I supposed to get excited for the idea of like a reboot when everybody who got us here is just gonna stay where they are? Are we just gonna do another reboot eventually? Like, what are we even gonna do? And like, you know, obviously, like we got to talk about the amount of MCU synergy that can happen now if they reboot that they couldn't get away with before. Does really anybody want that?
No,
I don't think so. Right? It just seems like a weird. On one hand, it's like, what else can they do? But also, it's like the dumbest thing that they could do. It's just confusing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of nonsensical. But also, it's like, at this point, to compete with DC, there's nothing they could really do except try to do their own. I don't know if we want to call it a full-on New 52. I don't know what the extent of this would even be. But this is like the only shakeup that they could possibly do at this point, if they really want to like compete with DC at all. If you're just gonna let the Ultimates like die, what else you got? Right? I don't know. It's just super difficult to even like think anything, because like, you know, I say before, I like Thor, I like Moon Knight. That Hulk book is pretty good. It's being excited for Marvel is just a task.
That's true.
It's just hard. Like, you know, so like getting excited for a reboot is just weird because, like, you know, what happens to the books that I like? Which one of them are going to be saved from, you know, extensive kind of like shakeups because of the reboot? You know, what are major differences from this point on when it comes to the characters and how I like them being written? You know, what is going to change with that reboot, with that aspect of the reboot, the synergy that I don't want? What characters are going to fall victim to that? editorial is a fucking clown show, and they're all staying. So, what is the point of a reboot? What am I supposed to get excited for?
Yeah.
Like, again, the event itself could be fun to read, but what it is trying to be supposedly a springboard for, why am I supposed to be hyped for it? I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I share the same sentiments. I think I'm of multiple minds. Normally, I'm of two minds, but because of Marvel, I'm of multiple minds. Right? That's the problem here. So, Armageddon looks good on paper. This is great, right? It's giving me what I want for Avengers. I like what Chip is talking about. This is awesome. This is great, dude. These teasers look dope. Injected in my veins. This is wonderful. The problem is that the foundation is so fucking shaky. It's so shaky, right? Because let's just say Armageddon is a hit, which I have no doubt it will be. What is stopping this from becoming another Judgment Day, another King in Black, another Empire, another God damn, what's another fucking give me another event that happened in the last like 2 or 3 years?
Blood Hunt.
Blood Hunt. What is stopping Armageddon from becoming that? It is just a blip where once again the Marvel universe will change forever, and then a year later we don't give a shit. There is nothing.
Blood Hunt changed some stuff a little bit. I mean, the vampires got a nation. Miles was a vampire for like 2 years, and Blade got cool with a god that he almost hooked up with.
Yeah, but I mean, for like the overall Marvel landscape, right? Because yes, no. Actually, no. You bring a good point. No, actually, no. Thank you for bringing that up. Right? Yes, cool. Blood Hunt. It made what? Doctor Strange, no, excuse me, Doom, Sorcerer Supreme, right? But okay, and I mean, no disrespect to Ryan North. I want to make that very fucking clear. I mean, no disrespect to Ryan North. But can you honestly tell me that people were really checking for that Fantastic Four book like that, right? When you talk
does
about
have a lot of fans though. His run does have a lot of fans. Now, if you're talking about the Doomsday event, the Doctor Doom like miniseries, then maybe because I kind of fell off on it my damn self. So.
Okay, fair. I'll give it that. But like North on Fantastic Four, it wasn't a book that like I saw people like flocking to talk about. It might have been good, but like you know what I'm saying, like the energy wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So like yes. This is true. It had its fans, but like it wasn't really shaking like that. And look at what happened with One World Under Doom. We talked about it for how many months? How many months was the streets talking about One World Under Doom? 1, maybe 2. And then what did they do immediately alongside Doom? Imperial. Right? And then even then, the streets wasn't really talking about Imperial like that. I'm sorry. Were they? No. What? I saw the timeline talking about the Inhumans coming back for one hot second, right? And then what happened? Where are we at 2 months later? The shit's gone. And Doom is coming back. And nobody give a shit. I mean, they might give a shit because what? Chip is going to do a little something there. But like what? North is writing another Doom book. Niggas don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to say is just like, we don't care. Like compared to DC, we have things to latch on to. So my problem here is just like, yes, there's a very good chance that this could be another thing that like we latch onto for 1 to 2 months. But because, like AJ said, the foundation is so fucking shaky, like, yo, what's to stop Chip from going on Avengers, right? Hear me out. This is going to piss everybody off. What's to stop Chip from going on Avengers and then a year later it gets relaunched or it's done? There is nothing stopping that because we've done seen it for God knows how many times. Chip is talking about, oh, I have a plan. I have a 2-3 year. I'm working with Hickman. How many years has Hickman been at Marvel and we haven't given a shit besides the Ultimate Universe? Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
Thank you. So, and I'm always going to go back to what I said. And Steph brought it up perfectly. He said, yo, editorial is not changing. yes, I also put a little bit of responsibility on the readers, right? Because for all this shit we talk about editorial, what the motherfuckers still go do when them number ones come out? What do they go do? They buy. Yes,
Don't even get me started on them goddamn blind bags. Oh my god.
that too, right?
Ooh.
But here's the thing, right? They buy, but still, yes, now you have Dan Slott saying, oh, you know, these books are only greenlit for 5 issues. But the problem is that still motherfuckers are buying. The motherfuckers are buying, right? So Marvel realistically has no incentive to change, especially now with the blind bags, like you said, right? Because, and that's my beef. I don't want to say beef. Beef is a strong word. That's kind of like my issue with why are we going to start a new Daredevil run, right? Sure, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Yes, the blind bag situation can cover Stephanie Phillips for maybe a year. But what happens after a year? Are you going to relaunch Daredevil? Are you going to relaunch Avengers? Are you going to relaunch Spider-Man? Are you going to keep doing this? So, like, yeah, I think this is good in a vacuum. This is great in a vacuum, right? We can have our little something here. Oh, Chip did it. Chip brought the Avengers back, blah, 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 blah. But is it really going to matter a year from now? Is it going to matter 2 years from now, right? And I think Marvel done put themselves in such a corner that now we have to think this way. Because really, ideally, if things were better, I would be excited for a Avengers disassembled type shit by Chip Zdarsky. That'd be wonderful. But because the foundation is so bad, what? And also too, I love bringing this up. I'm excited for this as a story, something I can take home and I could reread once one and done. Right? I read Devil's Reign, but when you're talking about the grand scheme of the Marvel universe, this shit may not matter. It may not matter. So I don't know. I think the dominoes are starting to fall. And like I said, I'm still gonna hold on to what I said before. I don't know, man. Chip, good luck. Who's gonna buy Armageddon? I'm buying it. I just want to buy it just to see what happens. Who buying?
I'll get it.
I'm in it.
Damn, Steph really gonna leave Chip hanging. Yo, white on white crime is real.
Okay, all right.
I guess
man.
Why
he's
don't-
Canadian. I guess it's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
That nigga white. Shut the fuck up. That nigga white. But yeah, man. So we'll see. But DC got these niggas smoked, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Like even Williamson on Iron Man, for as good as that book is, it's hard for me to care. And I buy it every single month. It's hard
That's
for
a
me to care.
goddamn good book too. Though. We haven't talked about it, but that's so far been a great Tony Stark book. And I'm
It is.
so happy they're not drawing him like Robert Downey Jr.
Actually, no, I take that back, right? Because Steph, what did me and you say a couple months ago? We said people need to show up with their wallets, right? And these books need to start being canceled at like issue 5. Technically, Dan Slott is saying what we theorized. He said books are only getting greenlit for 5. So no, I take that back. Maybe Marvel fans are starting to speak with their wallets. Maybe they are. Now let's bring 5 down to 2. Then we can really start talking. Then we can just really start talking. We have a great example for what we need to do for these books. We need to Red Hood these books. After one issue, they say bye-bye. That's what now
Not
needs
really
to.
hood.
Hey man, listen, blame Gretchen Falcon Martin. That's her fault.